Find the length of the segment whose endpoints are at 2, -4, and 6, 5. Round to the nearest hundredth. So we want the length of a segment, and we want to round to the nearest hundredth. So make sure you read the words. We're trying to find the length. So we're not asking for a midpoint. We're asking for a length, like 6 feet or 5 units. So it's going to be a length. So whenever we want to find the length, let's go ahead and draw a picture on our graph so we can see what it looks like first. 2, 4, that is our x and our y. So travel on your x-axis first, 2 spaces over, and then 4 down, 2, 3, 4. So that puts me down here. Then I need to go 6, 5. That's to the right 6, over 6, and up 5. So that puts me up here. So I'm trying to find the length of this green segment. So how long is this? So notice it's not asking for the midpoint. So stop and think before you just plug in any old random formula. So a length. Now remember, if it's going straight across horizontally or up and down vertically, then you can go ahead and count bubbles. But remember, we are never allowed to count diagonal bubbles when we're trying to find the length. Okay? Don't count diagonal bubbles. It does not work. Instead, we're going to make a fake right triangle because then we can use the Pythagorean theorem. So we know we can use the Pythagorean theorem. Now remember, Pythagorean theorem is going to help us find a length, oopsie, TH, or a distance. So if you're talking about length or distance, and we have some right triangles, remember they have to be right triangles, then we use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that's the trick we're going to use here. Now we don't have a right triangle in our picture, but we can make a fake one. So think about how I can make a fake one. I could go straight up from here and then over, and that would make a perfect right triangle in the corner here. That's one way. Or I could actually have gone the other way and gone across this way and then straight up and use this side of the right triangle because this is also a right triangle. So you could use whichever one you want. I think my yellow one looks better, so I'm going to go with the yellow one. Okay, I think I drew that one better. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's use this right triangle. So remember, I have a right angle in the corner. Remember to go straight across from it, and this is going to be my C. Always, my hypotenuse right across from the right angle is C. I always label him first because A and B are the other two guys, and it doesn't even matter. So I'm just going to call this top guy A and this side guy B. Okay, so now I need to find some lengths. Now you know we can't count this green one because that's diagonal, so we cannot count bubbles, okay? But we can count bubbles up vertically and horizontally. So let me go ahead down here and let's count bubbles up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So B is 9. Let's count bubbles across here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means A is 4. Don't mess up. You're doing all this math. Don't mess up on the counting part. So be careful and count bubbles and count them twice, especially if you're taking a test. All right. Let's see. So let's go ahead and write our formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And I'm going to plug in my values, my substitution property. So my A is 4. Don't forget your squared. Plus my B is 9. Don't forget your squared. Equals my C. I do not know. That's my green segment here that I'm actually looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this. Let's do some math. 4 to the second power is 4 times 4, that's 16. 9 to the second power is 9 times 9 is 81. Check those in your calculator. Okay, so now I got those like terms on one side. So I've got 16 plus an 81, and I get 97. So 97 equals C squared. Now, duh, if I look at this line, it is not 97 blocks long. So clearly, I am not done yet. So remember, to get rid of this squared, I have to square root both sides. Now in your calculator, if you're looking on your calculator, you're going to hit the second button and then the x squared button. So So if you hit the second button and the x squared button on your calculator, it'll look like this right now. It'll have a square root sign with a parentheses, and all you got to do is type that 97 in there, 97, and hit equals. And it will give you, it says 9.8488 and some more junk after that. Now remember, it said round to the nearest hundredth. So the number in the hundredths place is this 4 right here, right? But remember, we have to look to the right of it and see if we have to shove the 4 or not. So look to the right of it. You see this 8. So does that mean we have to shove the 4? 5 or above, give it a shove. So that means that this 4 has to go up to a 5. So my final answer is going to be 9.85. So that way my last digit is in the hundredths place. And I have rounded it by looking at the next guy. Now if this 8 was like a 2, I would not shove the 4, and it would just be 9.84. So that means this length is 9.85 long. Now remember, always check it in your picture. Does it make sense? This side's 9 and 4, and this is 9.8. Looks pretty good. It is our biggest side, and I could imagine that this is about 9.8 blocks. It makes sense to me.